Her breathing was slow, measured, peaceful, like she hadn't just spent the last hour telling me to trust her. We were in bed, and the room was still warm from the fight she pretended we didn't have. "You overthink everything. I'm loyal. I've always been loyal." Her voice was soft, almost bored. She rolled over, pulled the blanket up, and drifted into sleep as if nothing cracked between us. But it had. Something small and sharp had splintered behind her eyes that night. A flicker of calculation, a slip. I'd seen it before, once, years ago, in someone else. And when I asked her why she was texting with her phone tilted away, she smiled too easily. "You can check my phone if you want." That was the moment. Not what she said, but how she said it. Daring me. Knowing I wouldn't. Knowing I shouldn't. But I did. It wasn't immediate. The hesitation. The calculation. I lay there for an hour, listening to her breathe, wondering if I'd already become someone I promised I'd never be. Someone paranoid, distrustful, weak. But trust isn't blind. It's earned. And tonight, something felt earned in reverse. I slid out of bed slowly, careful not to shift the mattress. Her phone was on the nightstand, face down. That was the first clue. She never did that before. Not when we first met. I picked it up, unlocked with her thumb while she snored gently. My heart wasn't racing, it was quiet, prepared, like it already knew. Messages weren't labeled by names, just emojis, clever, cowardly. One thread stood out. "That's not the kind of emoji you use with a colleague." I opened it. There was no sexting, no nudes, nothing obvious. But every line was dripping in familiarity, in intimacy. "Can't stop thinking about that night. I miss how you look at me after. You still smell like my skin. Still. Smell like my skin." I put the phone down. I didn't feel heat. I felt something else. Cold recognition. Like hearing a song from your childhood, but realizing it was always about death. The next morning she smiled while pouring coffee, wearing the robe I bought her for our anniversary. She asked if I wanted eggs, said I looked tired. I smiled, said I had a headache, skipped breakfast. But I watched. I watched how she hid her texts with casual swipes, how she used her phone camera as a mirror but checked for notifications in the reflection. She wasn't sloppy, she was practiced. This wasn't new. I spent the next week in silence, but not in action. I pulled her iCloud data, retrieved deleted threads. I copied message logs, cross-referenced restaurant locations with bank charges. She always said she was seeing her sister every Friday night. Her sister had been in rehab for 6 months. It didn't take long to find hotel bookings. Same location, same room. Alternate credit card. I printed everything, stapled it cleanly, just enough evidence to shatter illusions, but not enough to start a fire. Because I wasn't angry, I was ready. On Sunday morning, she made pancakes, hummed while cooking. I waited until the first bite was in her mouth, then placed the folder on the table. She stopped chewing, didn't look at it, didn't ask, just stared. Then swallowed. "What's this?" I didn't answer. She opened it. The first page, iMessage thread extracted, iCloud backup. The second, hotel booking receipts, Fridays only, room 309, repeating guest, her name. Third page, time-stamped GPS movement log, matching entry and exit times. She flipped through the rest in silence, then pushed it away, eyes glossy. "I can explain." I nodded, but I didn't want one. I slid a second envelope across the table. This one was thinner. She looked confused. Inside were copies of the lease transfer papers. The apartment was now in my name only. Her closet had been packed while she slept last night, stored at a nearby unit. Her key had already been disabled. "Why?" she asked, soft, empty. Not because she didn't know, but because she didn't think I could. "You said I could check your phone," I said. Finally, Her face cracked. Not from guilt, from the realization that I did. That I acted quietly, efficiently, without giving her the satisfaction of drama. "You could have just talked to me," she whispered. "I am," I said, and stood up. She cried as I left. Not loudly, just enough for me to hear. Enough for me to feel the echo of what used to matter. But I didn't look back. I didn't carry her voice with me. I didn't need closure. Because I never lost anything. She did. What I lost was an illusion. And I don't mourn illusions. I expose them. Then I leave them bleeding in the light.